My kids are here, and my human side, my heart side of human, feels bad that they're in there playing a game. And I said I'd be right in, but I thought of this idea, which is a way. It's almost faking, but it's not faking. It's just a way for me to get it to people. Okay, picture a movie plot, but the movie could be what I see my life being. I sort of see myself like the way I feel. I want to be able to get my message across to everybody, but how can I get my message across to everybody without causing a stir? And then you cause a stir, you get arrested. You get arrested, you talk to the people that arrest you and say, get me up to the higher ups. I want to talk to some people. I want to talk to some people. And then they put you into government, and then they keep you under wraps, and they don't want you to talk to people because they want to keep their control. But somehow I get in this movie, there's ways in movies to get around all these things. I wouldn't have to really do all that stuff, but we'd have some kind of thing led up to where there's a war between people, and there's some kind of agreement to where I want to talk. I was like, drop me and put me in a place where everybody's mad, but the stipulation is they have to listen for 10 minutes, put down their guns, and be willing enough to put down their guns and listen for 10 minutes. And if they can't agree within 10 minutes, then have their war. But all I want is 10 minutes of their time, and I bet you I can cause world peace. And everyone listens, and it's nationally televised, and it's like way more important than President Trump interrupting Wheel of Fortune to tell us about society or socialites or some dumb shit, some rape or some crime committed by government officials that everybody's getting so worked up over, some kind of thing with a football team or some kind of dumb thing that means nothing. And when I say dumb, I'm not trying to insult it. I mean dumb as in people make it like it's their life, and it's not. It's only what they make out of it. And if you make anything outside, like a topic on TV or a topic on the news, a big deal to you, then it's a big deal. But if you don't make it a big deal, nothing's a big deal. And that's your decision, I guess. But why would you make a big deal out of anything that's going to get you worked up and stressed out and bothered? It's that simple. It really is that simple. And it can be a 1 second time that changes everything, and you totally look at life a different way. And it seems difficult at first because you're going to feel ashamed that you were a certain way, and you realize it now. But after that, you get totally past it, and you can't believe it's the greatest feeling in the world. Anyway, back to the movie plot. You do this whole thing, and I picture myself as I am right now, with my back against the wall. Sometimes you can't say how you feel in your heart unless you're scared, or else you're put on the spot, or you feel like you have something to prove. Like if someone just walks up to you and it's just like, hey, how you doing? You're casually chilling. Like, tell me your life story. You're not going to tell them as much of how a heartfelt speech as if you feel like you're struggling, you're having it hard, you're just whatever. Like, but when you feel this kind of love, you feel like you have to share it. And when you see that people aren't sharing love, you feel that defensiveness, whether it's your own personal family member or some people you don't know, someone talking to you, someone doing wrong to someone else. It doesn't matter. It's something about it inside you. When you really experience unconditional love, you feel like you have to help because we are all one, and you don't want us to harm ourselves. And what is harm? Right now, the only thing I can tell that is harm is physical acts and the things we say towards each other. And then the third thing would be what we think about each other. And those all three can be changed if people try. And I would be dropped down in this big group of people. It would be auditorium full of people over here, people over there. And I'd point at somebody, one person, and say, you, what is different between you and the person right next to you? That little piece of you that you have inside of you, that I have inside of me, that person has inside of them. There's no difference in that piece that is besides our carcasses that can fall to the ground and rot. That is not you. Quit worrying about what all these people outside here are saying. Don't worry about what's on the news. Don't worry about what the government says. Don't worry that this is supposed to be crime. Don't call this rape. Don't call this murder. Don't call this whatever. Just stop doing the things that feel wrong. And don't, I'd come up with a great way to put it into words, but it is that simple. There's nothing, don't harm each other. Don't force yourself on people. Don't hurt people. Don't kill people. Why wouldn't you want to grow to the best, improve yourself? If you're born with a disability, why wouldn't you want to improve yourself? And why wouldn't another person want to help that person help improve themselves, as well as help improve themselves at the same time? Because all we're supposed to do is keep experiencing. I mean, we've seen enough bad where we don't need to experience any more bad, I don't think. So it would just take a lot of work for people to realize that the only way to get rid of violence is to stop having violence. Unless we could agree that, hey, we've seen what violence is and we still enjoy the movies and video games, and we could stay at that without actually having to have the physical act of each other killing each other ever anywhere, then we could keep those things. But if we keeping those things keeps in our minds that we have to have war, then we have to get rid of those things. And I would hate that, because I love Metal Gear Solid and I like video games and I love stuff like that. I've played violent things my whole life, but I could do that without thinking deep. With my kids around, I have a hard time playing a game that I would play without them around, because I don't want them to think that I, encourage violence, because I don't. How can I say that while I still would play a violent game or watch a violent movie? Because I'm totally in tune and I understand the beauty of it. And I understand that we've got to the point where we know that we don't need to do that to each other. We know what we should do for each other. We shouldn't do anything to. We should always do everything for, if that makes any sense. Because by doing things for each other, the thing we're doing to each other is being kind and loving. And that's really the only thing we're meant to do, is be kind and loving. And, it may sound weak and whatever, and big muscle guys are going to, we're not going to want to be nice to anybody. Why would I get all built big and buff and strong and learn how to fight if I'm just going to be a nice guy? Well, if you are such a nice guy, why do you feel the need to get all big and buff and defend yourself in a fight? Simple questions should have simple answers, but they won't be simple answers, because people are always going to defend themselves because they have a made up belief in the back of their mind. I'm not wrong about that. So I love people. I just want to help. And my kids are here, and I've been talking for 7 minutes now again. I just talked for 10. So I will talk later.